call the roll, please.
All right, Keith Campbell,
Here.
Jim Steele Smith,
Here.
Steve Eisenbrown,
Yep.
Kyle Ferris, and Bill Gallagher.
Here. First thing we need to do is approve the agenda with flexibility. Got a motion?
Yeah, I move we approve the agenda with flexibility.
I second the motion.
Favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, normally we do our minutes, but since we have people here who want to do business with us, we'll table the minutes till later. That's the part of the flexibility I put into the agenda. So at this time, like their preference, who comes first, or
No, but I it's take that, I think that one application. Yeah.
Okay.
That first or.
yeah, let's do the application and get them finished so we can.
Okay.
I know it's gonna be him. Knew it.
Kyle being here.
I've got a cold. So
Thank you.
yeah, I'm just trying not to share it. Get it down there. Thanks, Steve.
The applicant is which person here? Like that, make sure I know who I'm talking to. Which one's Jim?
Jim is one of the people in the neighborhood that we just had the signature to, for the permission. I'm Rob Loomer, I'm HOA president. That's Lee Weber. He's just a resident.
Rob and Steve.
And the package was prepared by Dean Lewis, he was delayed, but hopefully he'll be here. He's the HOA secretary.
Okay. So for our guidelines, we'll start and the application must be typewritten or printed in black ink to be case. One request per application. This request is for fine, right?
Correct.
Checklist. In case you want it.
Animal occupation. So number 4, we need to know. Unusual, we got dealing with HOA, not an actual property owner. We'll figure that part out when we get into the application. Questions about that? Okay. We did get 9 packets total. Need a legal description and deed. I don't know if we're gonna have that.
I can give you a quick introduction of even the nature of the project, if that's helpful, but.
Well, then make
usually
sure,
that's down the
yeah,
path.
make sure first the application's complete before we
Yep.
go on to that, so.
The boring stuff.
Okay, we have 9 packets. We don't have no deed or legal description because we're not dealing with one piece of parcel of property, so we gotta figure out how we're gonna do that. Scale drawings, drawings are about the actual location. See about that. The list of adjoining and property owners and stuff like that. We don't have that. That. This square here, that's a location.
Approximate, yes.
So I'm assuming we got 2 parts assigned, one's on one side of the road, one's on the other. Okay. So one's on one person's parcel, one's on another person's parcel. Okay.
Is this replacing existing?
It is.
Was it existing on both sides?
Yes.
Do you have any photos of what was existing before?
It was
Not in the package, but we do have photos of what was there before, yeah.
It was mostly crumble. And it was 20-year-old structure.
Just
Lot of
Gorsuch,
east of
Miller Paul.
We have
all that.
multiple issues here, okay? Two property owners, I'll need if they're not present for the hearing, I'll need a notarized power of attorney, giving them someone permission for them to speak.
This is for the bylaws of the HOA,
That's,
what the checklist says.
um. The variance or conditional use goes to a certain property owner, it doesn't go to the HOA. So whatever property that's on, that's where the variance has to go to, so there'll have to be two per owners, because there's two parcels. We need deed and legal description for those parcels showing that they actually own those parcels. And the map, the legal description should have the surveyor stamp on it. The application for sign. I don't have drawings to scale. But I will need not just, it's 47 feet here. I'll need every point, every property line, over from the rear of the property to the sides, to the front. All four sides. I'll need those dimensions exactly where it sits on that property. Then any hearing we have, all the adjoining property owners need to be notified within 200 feet. So every property owner contiguous or joins within 200 feet of those properties will have to have their names, addresses, and all that, so we can notify them of the hearing. The maps from county map room. We will take GIS maps off the internet for that too, so what's this? Either one, we need to see that map for that, those two parcels. And since it's subdivision, we need a subdivision map.
That's available online, yeah.
So until you have those extra other pieces and parts of this, we're gonna table this till later.
Yeah.
That would be like next month.
Sounds good.
So just to be clear, then you're just approving, whenever that happens, that's just approving that we can have the sign. I mean, what about the sign itself? All that stuff.
We need this application completed to
Right.
have the hearing. So we can notify the property owners, they can come and give us our input.
Right.
At that hearing, we'll either approve or disapprove the sign, so we
And
know.
then we're off, we can do anything we want then with whatever the material or whatever it looks like.
That
That's
should be all
up to us.
just come up in the hearing. You need to know what, we need to know what kind of material it's gonna be,
So
what exact
That's my
location,
question. So you're gonna need to know the exact material dimension.
It's in.
everything,
Yeah.
exactly how it
Add-ons.
is.
It is, okay,
We have all
all right.
Just
Well,
a
that
que-
stuff will need to all be nine in the 9 packets.
that. It's in already, but we'll bring 9 back.
just a question, is the new sign the same size as the old sign?
There is no sign currently.
Yeah, the nature of why this came up, the old structure was dilapidated, falling apart. So we had an HOA meeting. And the neighbors voted that they would like to enhance the structure with a nice sign. So that's why, we had no idea we even had to do this. So all this came up.
So it's not so
a.
it's new and not a redo.
It's, well, he said they had photos of the old one, so yeah, it'd be a redo probably.
Well, that's what I was asking. It's like, okay, it's a redo of something that was
That's
existing.
right, but there was not a sign.
there was a retaining wall, and a fence and landscaping. And we removed the landscaping, the wall, and the fence,
No,
replaced the fence.
the actual placard, the actual
There
sign.
is no, there is no sign.
There was no sign?
That's what he's saying.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, so this,
Well, this is brand new then.
that's correct.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay, so this is brand new then. Okay.
It's in the, on the internet. Pardon? It's on the internet when you.
Okay.
Applications.
I was just
Okay.
trying to help you a little bit.
Sure.
Works, thank you. We can keep the packets back, you can give them back to them, since we're not gonna accept it tonight, and they can bring them back next meeting.
Okay,
We can add what we need. I suggest you get with Mike, maybe and have a meeting and figure out what you need.
We weren't there, but I know that
He
happened.
came in one time and he had a question about whether he did or did not need that. And I told him you can come to this meeting and ask questions.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna submit facts to them.
Right. So,
I would also say the sort of structural description probably needs more detail than this one page.
yeah.
If you're putting in new columns and things.
you know,
You're
what
gonna
kind of
need to-
materials are built out of, you know, what,
Yeah.
the all that stuff. But I suggest if the Steve's gonna be your spokesperson or whoever, or whatever. Get Mike and schedule a meeting.
Be clear on that though. All that information. So no misconception that Mike is approving something for.
No,
I can-
we were understanding that the package was complete though, and ready to be submitted. That was our understanding. We weren't at that meeting, so there could have been a miss.
The last time we talked to Steve, I said, look at this, you had a question on, I know, survey. And something else, I know, I said, this can definitely need.
I thought it was gonna be to replace the sign, but there was no.
I got the check. Is there anything else in the package that you guys would like to see, I guess?
Well, I think. I think this is on the internet too, these, all the guidelines of what needs to be in there. And
Yeah,
each one of these boxes has got to be checked, you know. I can say that if. The property owner not committed needs a notarized power of attorney. The application has had 9 copies. These are deed and legal description of the properties that's going on. The application of the sign has to have the types of construction, the material used, well, the sign, size, the proposed sign and the exact location. We need all those adjacent adjoining and contiguous property owners, names and addresses on the application so we can notify them of the hearing. And you know, so that's, you know, there's quite a few things missing. So.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
I appreciate the coaching.
Replacement.
Whoever wants to be next,
Google.
you have an application of something. You need to go to the podium. You can state your name and address for the record.
I am Kesha Annis and I live at 5801 Miller Paul Road. We are here at his request too, because we are doing the asking of the questions so that that doesn't happen to us. We are trying to walk through the process of requesting a conditional use for a variance for conditional use for our property. So I guess there's just a couple questions surrounding that because we want to make sure that we have all of our i's dotted and t's crossed. So there were,
State your name and address for the record, please.
I did, Kesha Annis.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
So,
You were busy. I can say it again if you want me to.
no, I need to.
So I guess there were a couple of different questions. There's the 2 applications that are online, the home occupation one, right? And then the request for the conditional use variance. we have to fill those both out, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, I was a little confused about the home occupation one because there's a lot of questions that don't apply.
Right.
So what does that look like? Because we're requesting to run a photography studio, rentable photography space, a studio out of our barns. So all of the barns are existing, have always been there. We've built but so I guess to me, there was a lot of questions surrounding how we even asked that of you, like, what do you want to see written up? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, we can give you the business model as far as what we have in our minds. But since everything was existing, you know, you still need everything, like the survey and all of that. Everything that this lists, you still need all of that information.
Right.
Because it was also there. Okay, well, that's good to know. So then it just comes down to, yeah, some of the questions about the in-home occupation, because I don't have that one in front of me. Chuck, can you bring me the in-home occupation one?
Do you have? Print those up on the
Oh, the.
website?
Because there was a lot of questions about like the materials used, how they're gonna be delivered, you know, that kind of a thing, and we're not doing any of that, like, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
Well, we have to know what's going on. Do you have coming to the site?
Right,
If what business, there's a lot of things involved. You don't think so, but there is.
right,
And so those are the types of things we need to know.
okay. So really just like, so I can fill out everything to the best of my ability. But really just a typewritten page in black ink. I saw all
We
of
have to
that.
fill out all the forms complete,
Yes,
then an explanation of what the business is.
okay,
And
including business hours, just like the whole business model. Okay,
And if there's no employees, it's just us two.
well, then you state that.
yeah,
Okay.
You have to state that. The footage, you'll have all that on it. Of the case that
okay, see, and I was wondering because I'm thinking, well, is it the square footage of our home? That's fine, questions that I had in my mind. So,
Anything else, Keith?
Well, it could be that because some in-home occupations are in the home.
No.
correct, yeah,
And then, and you're looking at for an expanded in-home occupation to be doing in an accessory building, which is a different, so there's two different types of home occupations. There's a standard in-home occupation where they use it doing it in-home, being an attorney or something like that, doing it from home or something like that. Or you could be like you're expanding in-home occupation where you're doing physically doing something outside of that house in an accessory building. So there's two types.
and that's the conditional use, is that what that is
Conditional use.
for? I don't want to be kicked to the curb, so I should make sure we have our packets all in order.
Well,
I don't have that.
The conditional use variance, is that what we're applying for?
Both.
Yeah.
It's an in-home
You
use.
start,
but
you
it's-
start with this piece here, then there's a separate one for the in-home occupation. I think.
Right.
I don't, you have a separate. one for the
Should be
in-home?
printed.
I've got both of them. There are the two.
Okay.
right?
I don't have, I can't find my copy right off. I haven't used it in a couple of years. So.
Yeah, it's this one that has all the writing on it, which actually lays out everything you need. Because I've already done, I've already got all the neighbors, I've done some of it, but I just didn't want to present it because we don't have the copy of the deed yet, which we'll get, we'll get all of that. This was really just to make sure that we know what we're doing because we know.
Yeah, because it's gonna be a legal document, so that's why it's important to have the locations and everything.
Is the age of the survey matter? Like we're thinking there's probably a survey when we bought it, but that was 30 some years ago. Like, does that matter?
If everything's the same,
Everything's the
Mhm.
same.
Everything is the same.
That'd be acceptable. Okay,
and it shows the barn.
yeah,
Okay.
Shows both barns on.
And you have to have all the corners, so in other words, how far from each lot line?
We have that too.
Okay.
Metal post.
The animal occupation application part, give me a copy here so I can. Have what it states. Need a detailed description of the proposed home occupation use, such as the activities involved, materials and equipment used, and methods of operation. So that's, you know, the three main points on that. How many persons who are residents in the dwelling unit are involved in the context of the home occupation, immediate family members and all that? Then if you're gonna do the expanded home occupation, we need to know, you're allowed up to 2 extra employees.
Okay,
If you want to ask for that now, you know, if you think that might be something to do in the future, well, then you need to do
so
that.
you do have to ask for that ahead of time, like even if we don't have that now, but we're like, oh, maybe we'll need one in the future?
What happens 5 years from now when your business blossoms and you got more, then you can, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
So
we
you-
can have
but
up
you-
to 2 is what you're saying.
You have up to 2.
Interesting, okay. But we don't have to name them because we don't have them yet?
You don't have to name them, you're just, if you're asking
Just
for that,
request it.
there may be 2 in the future that, but yeah.
Good to know.
Need to describe what the product would be produced or the service or repair service that you're gonna be doing there. So, you know, you're repairing clocks or making jewelry or doing bookkeeping services, whatever you're doing, you know, we need to know what the details of the business are.
Number 4 tripped me up a little bit.
So then we need the area of the home or if you're using the, you know, garage or accessory building, how many square footage that is.
Okay, so that wouldn't be
You
the
need the
barn.
square footage of your accessory building that you're doing a business in,
Okay,
or this expanded in-home occupation that we call.
okay.
Then we need to know, is there gonna be extra mechanical or electrical equipment used? You know, that's normal, about what normally happens in a residence, then we need to know about that too.
Okay,
And what kind of materials you're gonna be using, or any hazardous materials involved? Or anything, you know, similar to that.
okay.
Do you want to sign with this business?
We weren't gonna put one, after I sit through that one, no, we were not gonna, no.
Well,
We don't need it out.
I say that because if you just come back to 3 years later and say, oh, well, I think we need a sign, then that's a different
That's fine,
application, different fees, you know.
that's fine. We'll deal with that later. We're gonna say no.
You're allowed a 1 square foot attached to the building.
1 square foot attached to the building, we're
I
allowed.
think it's that, something like that.
Hanging your shingle.
3 square feet, I don't know what it is.
Square foot.
Well,
3 square feet. 3 square feet, whatever, it's 1 by 3, I guess, what I'm thinking now.
okay, cool. That's all we're gonna use.
Then we need to know about parking. You know, how much parking you have, what kind, you know, how many people are coming and going and all that stuff, so.
Okay,
You need parking for the employees, if you have any employees, you need parking for your customers, how many customers you anticipate having or whatever.
right,
If this happens at night, then you'll have to have lights for the parking. So they're, you know.
right,
and,
okay,
If it's something that customers are coming in, make sure it's ADA accessible,
mhm,
you know, but like, you know. Then we want to know how many deliveries you're expecting every week, you know, you don't have 14 semi trucks lined up out the road or, you know.
right,
we need
right,
to-
yeah, that'd be a problem.
So we need to know what kind of materials being delivered, you know, how frequently they're being delivered.
I see, okay, that kind of answered that, okay. Okay,
And we need make sure that there's no restriction on your property from deed restrictions or covenants from on your deed that says you can't do this or something like that.
okay,
That's why we need to see the deed, make sure there's nothing.
okay, so that would be literally in the
Enough.
deed.
So that's for the home occupation part, and then for the original part for the application, like we just went through here before.
And you do still, you need the full 9 copies of the, okay,
There's one request for application, if you're doing an in-home occupation, you need the second form. You need a notarized power of attorney if someone's acting as your agent, and so if you're the owner of the property and you're here, it's fine.
Mhm.
If there's 2 owners, like there's a husband and wife, both have to be here,
Mhm.
or you have to have the power of attorney from the other one if they can't be.
Okay,
So
I'm the only one on the
all
deed,
the
so-
owners of the property have to be present.
okay,
You need the 9 packets like it says,
Mhm.
the legal description indeed. And that includes a survey with the surveyor stamp. Now that probably can be found in the recorder's office. And you can probably go online and maybe get it from them online from the recorder's office, I'm not sure. But you should have had that when you got the original. When you bought the property, there should have been a survey with it, so.
Right, yeah, okay, recorder's office for survey, okay, we'll check there. And the deed, they'll have the deed as well, is that where it is, because it's
You know,
recorded?
some, and legal description doesn't always have to be a map, because it can be in text form,
Okay,
that. If you can get the map, it's better, but if you can't at least have the text form that says. Beginning at point such and such, and so many feet this way and whatever,
okay,
that should be with the record you got when you. bought the property.
1989.
1989,
Okay.
that's how long, yeah,
so
they may have still done it that way back then.
we need a scale drawing showing where all the buildings are. That you're gonna use for this, and you can take the map from the website or whatever, and we need to know the front setback to each building from the house and the outbuildings.
Which number is this where you're on, I'm sorry?
So how many feet they are from the road. How far each one is from each side, from the east, west, north, south, whatever, but and how far they are from the rear property for every structure. So you have all four sides located, so we know exactly where it sits on the property, so. If they said that's just record for the zoning inspector in case something moves, we can say, hey, well, when this was approved, it was sitting here, how did this get moved?
Setback, so
I don't think you're gonna move the whole barn, but that's,
no, that's definitely not, was that listed under one of these numbers? The setbacks, because I didn't read that anywhere, so that's new information.
that says on number 7 of the thing, says a scale drawing. Including location of
Ah.
present structures, including on front, side, and
Oh,
rear
here,
setbacks, of all
okay.
structures.
Okay. Okay, I
Yeah,
think he was showing me the
then-
tool.
If you have an application for a sign, we need to know about the sign and materials and the
Okay.
letters and how big they are and all that stuff that you
Okay,
do for the sign. And we need all adjacent adjoining property owners within 200 feet.
Mhm.
And you can go on the auditor's website and pull a map up of your property, and then they have a thing called tools. You can
Yep.
put a boundary thing, hit 200 feet, and it'll show you all the property owners within 200 feet of yours.
I've already done that, so that's good,
We
okay,
need all those people's names and addresses, and we need them separated
individually,
individually. So if
Sure.
there's a husband and wife, we need both of their names separately on each line. Because everyone gets a notification.
understood, okay,
Then, map from the map room, which you can probably get off the internet also.
it has to be that 11 by 17,
Mhm.
We haven't been enforcing that because most people don't have 11 by 17, they'll print at home by that, so.
okay, so it's not
Get letter
necessarily the
size, that'd be
size,
fine.
okay. Okay. Okay, and there's no subdivision, so. Okay.
And like I say, all the co-owners of all the properties have to be listed and all that. As if there's a subdivision within the 200 feet, then you have to have the subdivision map
There's not,
for that too, so. But
thankfully, there's not.
we don't have a lot of that in our township luckily, so.
Oh, but I hear it's coming, I hear it's coming.
So
Okay,
So
and
that's kind of how the application process works. We get all these 12 things, and then we sit like we did tonight, we go over them, make sure we have all those in the packet.
right,
And if that's complete, then we can set the hearing date. Usually it's the next month meeting, which, it's be 30 days usually.
okay, so you guys meet once a month,
And
The third week of every, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, so we would just bring our packets back next month, whenever it is, right?
and if you need Mike to look at it or something, or need ask
Yeah.
him a question, he's available, so.
Yeah, yeah, we've called him once already, but he, like the other people, he suggests, he was like, just go to the meeting and ask your questions, I'm like, okay, so here we are.
They know, I get it right the first time and that,
Yeah,
like these
right,
people now, they have to wait another month probably almost to get.
right, yeah,
Get the application, so.
yeah, we already knew that, so we were okay with that, they were probably trying to rush it, but, okay. Do you have any other questions?
No. Thank
Any
you.
other
Good.
questions for us?
Okay, I don't think
Okay.
so, thank you for your time, I appreciate
Do our
that,
work.
we'll see you next month.
Next person has questions or whatever. You come up to the podium and say, state your name and address.
Christopher Whiting, 6262 State Route 605.
What was your name again, please?
Christopher Whiting.
Okay, what's,
So I'm trying to figure out, I got what that rezone, not rezoning, but that variance to train dogs. So I wanted to build a whole building with some runs in it. It's 40 by 80, has a wall down the middle, would have a septic, all those things, so I can train in it. I was trying to. Delaware's having me do one thing, and then you guys are. Whatever he had me come here and try to get information, so.
just to bring him to speed, that this is from the dog training thing we're doing down in 605 here, a few months
Mhm.
back.
Mhm.
He wants to add a building that the dog runs in and stuff like that, so.
Okay.
if you
Are you gonna house the dogs in the building?
A few, yeah,
So you're adding to the number of units of dogs you can house?
not really, I'm just having,
Because if I remember, right, you were training police dogs or?
yeah, search and rescue police dogs,
Mhm.
all those, which they do better, they pretty much have been a kennel environment. But, I'm not really adding bulk, I just want to have a place to do it.
Okay,
So I'm trying to get,
yeah, I'm just trying to get a picture here.
yeah, it's where that building is that we talked about, would be right behind it. I mean, I talked to Delaware, they want me to build it commercially. So essentially I need like a 17 by 18 pad. They want me to connect the septic, or I'm sorry, the runs to my septic and then install a new septic tank. So, and then there'd be electrical.
Whoa.
Here's the issue, Mike discussed this with me the other day, and listened a little bit too, and he just wants to modify his in-home occupation to add this other building, he wants to keep the dogs separate in a separate building from his building, you don't want to store his tractor and the dogs in the same building,
Exactly.
and so he's on what, you got 22 acres, I believe, was that?
No, I only have 5-ish. Yeah,
I thought it was more than that.
you. Totally different guy, probably.
No,
I thought that. Oh, I had to be, it was on like 20.
But you have over 5 acres, 5 point something.
Yeah,
Okay,
It is,
I'm next to a commercial lot.
well, I'm trying to, there again, we're trying to build a picture for you.
Great.
so it is farm use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not, it's
Well,
A1.
Egg.
It's AR1.
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere.
That's. So,
I would literally be doing the same thing I'm doing today, like, but it's just I have a building.
I think, you built the application out before, so you understand what's
Yes.
required on that, we need the same application, basically. And your request asked to modify your in-home occupation to a new building. I think we can work from that. What you think that would?
If he's not expanding, or maybe one dog or something, but if he's not expanding and he just needs an exercise building and more room so he doesn't have his equipment and the dogs in the same place, I don't have a problem with that.
I mean, we're not making a decision in life, I'm just saying that.
Well, I'm just saying for him to come, what he needs to fill out.
We just need an application that.
Like a permit, or
Say what now?
is it a permit, or is it like a whole new?
It'd be a new application and we'll just be modifying the original application with the new one.
Okay,
Not,
did you fill out the original application?
I had an
You had
attorney do
attorney,
it.
had the attorney do it.
Yeah.
That's why he's not clear on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was on Zoom.
Yeah, we were hoping you were sending her because she's a lot of fun.
Is she?
Yeah, yeah. She helped us with our audio and everything.
Oh, yeah,
take that original application you had before and just basically duplicate it and just make the changes for the building part. That's all you need to do. And then you'll need the scale drawing showing where it is.
okay. So,
I think that would
do you
be,
need just like a post layout, or do you need like the electrical and everything?
No, we're not doing the construction part.
We don't,
Okay,
the building department does the construction part. You have to get a building permit from.
okay, I thought I
county,
was
they
gonna pay
don't-
like $6,500 to just have you guys say
Then
it or no,
If
so,
if the pole barn, I don't know what the requirements are, but whatever requirements for Delaware County are for a pole barn, you have to meet those.
right.
We have no to say about that. All we care is the use and the location.
Okay.
That's what we're here to discuss. So
So. Which app is it?
mine packets,
No, you said which app, you mean which application?
Yeah, which application?
the regular one online, whatever. I just hit it one.
But it's gonna be then,
Then you'll need a home use occupation, 1 and 2. You've done that? Yeah, I mean, all this. And in one of these, and they're all mine, they're sort of. One like that. And this is for the use part for the home occupation.
Okay.
And like I say, we need the 200 feet adjoining property owners, so they can be notified of the hearing, so we get all their names and addresses and.
Okay.
And you'll have, if you can find all your original paperwork, and if not, maybe Mike can find it for you here, but, for the survey, your deed and all that stuff that your copies we had before, so they'd be the same thing, since it hasn't been that long. Unless you changed owners or done something crazy since then.
Okay. Awesome, appreciate it.
All right, that answer most of your questions then?
Yeah.
All right. Next. State your name and address.
Danny Smith, 7979 Red Bank Road, Westerville, 43082.
Okay, what's your question?
I put a car out at the end of my driveway on my own land and put it up for sale. And I guess somebody's complained about it. So is there a possibility of getting an extended variance?
We have no control over cars for sale particularly,
well,
but, I mean, if you wanted to start as a business, that would be a.
yeah, I think where it comes into play is how often does he want to put it out there?
Yeah.
Right,
It's.
yeah, it's not a one-time
That's
deal.
where the process-
No, it's not a one-time deal. No.
Then that you get a dealer's license from the state of Ohio to sell a car dealer to sell cars. And that requires a building and a telephone line and a parking lot and then that becomes a commercial operation and that's something we don't do here. That'd have to be a rezone.
Well, I used to do all that. And I shut it all down and I quit. So now I'm just putting one out by the curb every once in a
I
while,
understand what you're doing
paying sales tax and title.
and all that, but
So
that's the kind of what the law says. You're gonna sell cars, you have to have a dealer's license and you have to have. And then that requires a lot, certain size and an office, certain office hours, and I know I checked on that once before myself.
I understand the dealership part of it. That's a lot of cars.
No,
Individuals are allowed to sell cars.
true, but you can't have it
It's
on,
my land. I pay the taxes.
you can't have it on the road right of way, though.
Pardon?
You can't park on the road right of way.
I park on my grass.
That's, the road right of way is actually more than just the gravel, where there's
Oh, you want it moved in 20 feet?
whatever the right of way line is on your road there. I don't know how many feet that is.
Just, if I might interject, I'm trying to get a picture.
Yep.
Like, how many cars a year would you be thinking of doing? Are these cars that you've,
I would say I could flip maybe one or two a month. So that would be about 25.
yeah, that's business.
Okay.
If you were doing 5 or under
In a year.
in a year,
Okay.
you would, you don't need to be you're not a dealer. Over
Right.
5, you're a dealer.
I think they allow 7, but right.
Okay,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. All
Right.
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 But for what you're talking about, then it has to fall back to what Keith was saying. That's why I was trying to get a real picture of quantity and that type of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand, what you'd like to do, but I think it's not really possible without a rezone. And I don't see that area's not commercially zoned, so.
And the extended variance is out the window.
And that's for use, that would be in-home occupation, or expanding in-home occupation is something that happens inside of the building. If you can sell them from inside the building, that's kind of hard to do. You want to display them outside, so.
Inside the garage?
But yeah, but any kind of in-home occupation has to be inside of the building.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know that anything we could do on that whole thing, like I say. You have any ideas, Mike?
No, I don't.
I
I
know.
know what you're saying, that it's,
And that's,
I get that.
Yeah, that many cars, that's a residential neighborhood, that's just,
They gotta keep it under 7, like that you're saying.
well,
Whatever.
I don't know, I'm not gonna argue, I read 5.
I think that's right. I think that when I checked on that, one was you can sell 7 a year without
7.
getting a dealer's license. Yeah.
I looked up the ORC and it said 5 a year, so.
Yeah, it might have changed since I looked at
I
it.
guess.
That's-
yeah, it could have changed,
I
who
guess.
knows?
That, when I looked at it was 20-some years ago, so
Oh, well, there you go.
I don't know, I don't quote me on anything, because I haven't read the code.
But anyway, somewhere in there. But being that you're in a residential neighborhood. And then if you go for if you would go for trying to sell them out of your garage, but you want an in-home occupation, then you gotta notify your neighbors. And we gotta do a variant, and that,
The whole hearing like we're doing to the other ones. Yeah.
and then what'll happen is you'll have a hearing. I'm just telling you what's gonna happen.
Right,
And all your neighbors are gonna show up,
okay,
and you know what that means.
yep,
Okay,
It's all right, complaining about one parked out there now, they surely gonna complain.
thank you for your time.
okay, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for coming in.
Alrighty.
Next on the neighbors or agenda, lost it long time.
Guessing he was taking advantage of all the traffic.
Oh, yeah.
In the corner of Red Bank and some others.
Oh, he's got the Dodges. He's the guy with the Plymouths and the Dodges.
Yeah, I see him parked out there.
Yeah. He's
He
got.
actually puts them in the right of way.
Does he?
Yeah,
he
I've
does.
seen them.
What was that car?
I-
It
because-
looks like an El Camino.
Yeah, because at first now I place him because at first I thought those were people doing ride shares or something, just parking their cars and driving to town. And then I realized somebody was selling cars. Okay,
But probably a lot of them didn't.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for clearing that up, Steve. I didn't. There again, trying to create pictures, that's a good picture.
But I did do that when we had the body shop down there. I flipped the cars and put them out front for sale. Checking all the regulations, and you have to have the dealer license, you have to have a gravel lot by so many feet, you had to have an office there, and you had to have certain office hours, and you had to have a phone line dedicated for that, and you know. And you get a dealer's license, and it is like,
It's interesting because Corey had a different opinion.
what did Corey say?
You take their advice.
You guys thought about the variance, so, and it's ultimately up to you guys, so.
Yeah.
You guys make the decision. but
Well,
I think follow the right procedure, so.
I mean,
Well, we didn't make a decision. We.
when
we
the,
gave advice.
I don't know
Wasn't a specific,
what the book says about expanded in-home occupation, but it does have to happen in a building. Yeah. I do that much.
That's a lot of cars.
They don't sit out on the corner. He sells them out of his garage mostly. That one that was sitting out there, that was a Dodge version of the El Camino or, you know, that's been out there for 2 weeks.
Oh, there again,
And it wasn't pretty.
you can't leave it there for more than 2 weeks, 14 days.
Well,
He was pushing.
14 days, it's not running.
No, I think it was in good, I think they all run.
Yeah, they do, at least I asked them.
I don't know.
Anyway. All right.
So back to the beginning of our agenda, we need to do our minutes from last. Okay. A roll call, order of the minutes from October 16th, 2023. Members present, Keith Campbell, Steve Eisenbrow, Kyle Ferris, Bill Gallagher, and Jim Steelsmith. Zoning Director Mike Cannon, public present. Bob Singer, were you here?
I was here.
You didn't put yourself on here.
Okay. It says officials there. I'm not.
Okay. Chair Keith Campbell called to order the regular meeting of the Harlan Township Board of Zoning Appeals at 7:30. Administrative Assistant DG Wolf called the roll. Jim Stillsmith arrived at 7:35. Bill Gallagher made a motion to approve the agenda with flexibility. Kyle Ferris, the second of the motion. All voted aye, no objections. Approval of minutes, Mr. Campbell read the minutes from the July session. Mr. Gallagher moved to approve the July minutes as read. Mr. Eisenbrow seconded the motion. All aye, no objections. Moving on, Mr. Campbell read the August minutes. Mr. Eisenbrow made a motion to approve. Mr. Ferris seconded. Voice vote, all ayes, no objection. New business, director's report. No new business for the board. Mr. Cannon told the BZA to expect some business next month. There are multiple properties that may need attention. 77 zoning permits have been issued so far this year. Mr. Cannon also reported that there have been interest in lot splits, so the board should be prepared for those possibilities in the future. We don't do lot splits, do we?
So you had to do.
That goes to the zoning commission, right?
Delaware. Actually, lot split, we don't do lot splits here.
Yeah. I think
They
this
do
goes-
rezones.
You want to change it from AR1
Yeah,
to
they changed.
FR1, then that goes to the zoning
But
commission.
the lot splits are done in Delaware. So
They go to
if you
Delaware.
ask the zoning commission, they'll tell you they don't do lot splits.
Thank God. Okay. Mr. Campbell went over the Delaware 2023 Delaware County Township officials training. In addition, Mr. Campbell clarified email addresses for board members and encouraged the use of official email addresses. Strategic planning report, Mr. Snellsmith reported that the strategic planning committee is to begin discussing new overlay for the northwest corner of the township, close to Galena. This overlay will be focused on residential purposes. Mr. Stillsmith noted that the real estate in Harlem Township has been doing very well, likely due to the incoming Intel Center and incoming potential employees. Adjournment, Steve Eisenbrow made a motion to adjourn the meeting. Jim Stillsmith seconded the motion. Voice vote, all ayes, no objections. Meeting was adjourned at 8:10. Anybody got any additions or correction to the minutes?
Corrections.
Okay.
My last name has 2 R's.
We changed that last week.
We changed your name while you was.
It's been a lot of things. I'm a big wheel at the carnival.
Farris. Okay. There's a couple places on here.
3 of them, yep.
We're gonna blame Word for that one and the autocorrect.
I'm with you.
Any other additions or corrections?
I had extra letters anyway. Why have an extra R in my name?
That's right.
It's just wasteful.
Somebody with 2 F's in their last name, yeah. totally.
All right, your motion to approve them as corrected.
I move that we accept the minutes as corrected.
I second the motion.
We got a motion and a second, any discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, the minutes have been approved. Okay. Any other new business? Got most of that done now. Mr. Zoning Director, it's your turn.
Well, I'll just give you an update very quickly. We've got actually 86 permits for the year right now, as opposed to 80 last year. Open enforcement issues, we've got 4 properties that we are currently dealing with for junk and debris. All those are in the prosecutor's hands. Got one, well, this one's been fixed, the one multiple SWUs on one property. We got 3 properties with businesses in residential area with no house. Actually, 2 of those have been dealt with. 2 properties operating extended home use without a permit. One came in tonight. The other one's got a letter going out for him. And then we dealt with one of the other people tonight. So you guys have answered all of those. As far as other BZA issues, I don't see anything coming up. Looks like he knocked all of them out right now, unless something else happens on a complaint that comes on a commercial business operating out there around Mayfield Drive and Gorsuch, which I haven't got any information on that yet. But a resident did hit me up, so they were going to send in a complaint form on, but I haven't seen it. We won't worry about it until we.
Do you have an official complaint form that people actually fill out?
They get online and they use it. It's not called a complaint form, it's called a resident. Yeah, I can't think of a word.
It's like communication to the,
Communication.
yeah, it's to the township.
That's what we use.
yeah. And then you ask to be directed to him.
Yeah, all those come straight to me. Canada gets them and she sent them to me.
Any other questions for him? Next, Jim and then Steve, whatever what's going on with the planning committee?
Well, subcommittees are busy. We're having a PR meeting tomorrow, public relations meeting. Trying to work out how to keep the township informed. We're still in discussions on the Northwest Quadrant. Talked to Holly today, going to talk to the members tomorrow. Trying to decide that Northwest Quadrant goes to 605. We're trying to decide what to do on the east side of 605. Also, getting ready to have meetings with strategic partners after the 1st of December. And strategic partners being entities that can help us. So have several of those meetings scheduled. So I think get that going, then after the first of the year, you're going to see a lot of movement. We're going to see a lot of movement on planning. We're going to see a lot of movement. We're already seeing movement on potential developers and that type of thing. I mean, so what we look at on strategic planning, we actually have a clock that is built for us, and that clock is the sewer. And so everybody is working towards when that sewer is finished, when that's ready to hook into. So if you're looking at around the 1st of 25 or the 1st of 26, whenever Columbus gets it done, that is when everything happens. So all the development and all the planning and everything, it's speeding up as you get towards the finish on that. So that's what we're working on. We didn't set the timetable. Somebody else has set the timetable for us.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, getting that, Steve, that.
Oh, that's it.
Okay. Delaware County Training, Mike and I and Kendra and our new Matt, our new trustee, went to the Delaware County Training last week. And sat through 3 hours, the most boring sunshine law training you ever see. But that's required for new elected people and different people and other parts, like trustees and things, and that deal with the records. Like Kendra was probably the most important person in our job to be there, because she does She handles most of the records and does records requests and things like that. So anyways. The second half was bad. So one of the things we did learn that the solar eclipse is coming to our township.
What?
The solar eclipse next year. We will be
Coming in April.
in April, we will have, we'll be in the totality area of the solar eclipse. It will go completely dark here in Harlem Township. So, the emergency management team, Delaware County is working on plans on traffic control and things like that. They said most of the hotels and campgrounds are already booked up full.
Oh, really? Tourists.
Tourists will be flocking, maybe flocking to the area, so they expect to see traffic problems and things like that, so.
We're actually on the very edge of the solar
Yeah,
eclipse.
so we should have totality in our township.
It'll be dark, yeah.
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 It'll
So
be dark.
when-
We're on
when
the
is it?
very edge of it, so.
April 8th, I think it was.
So I could I could rent out parking
I was
spots.
just thinking.
You could.
Well, the other traditional use there.
I've got almost 20 acres. How many cars can I park there?
It's a one-time thing, so we just wait till you get the violation from them and say, well, I'm done anyways, and throw it away.
I've got 14 days, I'll clean it out.
I didn't say that. Okay, but anyway, so that was one of the interesting things we did learn there about
Yeah,
our township.
Didn't realize that. Okay.
So, now, parts of Delaware County are in the totality area. So, I think the other thing was kind of, we did some township law update things which didn't really apply to the BCA, so we learned about some of that stuff coming. I think what the other thing was. What else did we learn there?
Some of the biggest takeaway that we took from it is we've got to make sure that everybody keeps their personal
Yeah.
email and stuff.
That
out
from
of
the
township.
sunshine law, we got to.
Can't be used.
Okay, I gotta get that done.
I know, we all do.
And
We're
I
all sitting there looking at our own phones going.
was here, I came in here today and the IT guy was here.
I think they should.
Busy with Kendra working on putting security cameras outside of it. And so they was working on that, so I talked to him briefly, but I didn't get a chance to, but Kendra understands that and we understand that. And I think the biggest takeaway you got, if I call you, that's one thing, but if it's a text that she needs to be saved because that can be, so don't text me, call me.
That's exactly.
Don't email me,
And don't email.
don't email, don't text, just call me.
This is never going back to old
The
school.
old fashioned way, yeah.
Basically.
That's what phones were built for, to call, right?
And that being said, because anything that you text could be subpoenaed to court, anything that's on your email could be subpoenaed to court. So, but phone calls are they're not recorded, they're not kept. They're kept in
I need to
record.
start using that email. God. That's a pain to get into.
It is.
That's a pain to check. That's the big thing.
Well, and I asked him today, my only question I asked him was, can I forward those emails to my regular email? And he said, well, then you still have the same issue that, I think I could read it, not. You just got to figure out you have to make yourself open it up and look at it. That's all. If it could send me,
If you were really doing it smartly,
if you could send me a
you
notification, then
would not even have it comment on your device with your normal email.
right,
You would have a standalone device just for doing, go buy a $200 notebook,
like one of these.
right? And set it up for the township email. That's the only thing on it. And then it's just
That'd be
standalone.
easy.
Yeah.
That's easier than trying to do all this
No, don't
switchy
do
back
that.
and forth.
Cause like with the Apple, I have like 5 emails in here that all, roll in. Right, so even if I was on my machine looking at it, that now opens up all of my other email accounts for supervision. So I'm just telling you, just go buy a $250 device and set it up for the township email and make it a dedicated machine.
I guess you're gonna have to.
Well, that's what we were talking about. I
Yeah.
guess I've got to push the point about the township. Give me the phone. They said.
You need a phone because we're getting notified on phones. That's what I'm thinking. If I had my township emails start notifying me on my phone, or then if I, God forbid, wanted to look at it. Yeah,
Don't do that.
there you go.
We decided that he needs a township designated phone for his business part, you know, of that. Yeah. Like I say, don't text me, call me.
Yeah, I guess. So we're going back to old school, guys.
Well,
No,
I mean, that's just.
Well, sometimes
regular
you-
retention
you-
Behavior.
Yeah.
What that is.
Yeah,
the good thing about a 5-member board like us, if 3 of us meet, then we can't do that because that becomes a quorum.
right.
But if 2 of us meet one-on-one, it's not a quorum, the trustees have a hard problem with that. If they get 2 trustees together,
Yeah,
they
it's
have a
quorum.
quorum,
Yeah.
they can't discuss township business. So they got, you know, that
Yeah, we had that problem. There was discussion on the strategic planning because one of the trustees sits on that.
Yeah.
So now you have a trustee elect that used to come. And so he's looking, and I said, well, one of you can't come.
exactly.
You know, it's just, yeah, you can't have 2 there. One of you can't come. And they go, oh,
But he's got till he gets sworn in till January, so.
well, even that, we're worried about that. We're just saying.
Yeah.
Don't,
Yeah, just done.
don't. Yeah, just don't.
There's plenty of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the hard part for them. It's like for us, it's very rarely any 3 of us get together outside of the.
So what we need is the BZA to be issued new phones and new computers.
Right.
We could get a package deal.
I don't think that'll happen,
Well,
but
it's not a phone issue as long as you don't use it for texting or email.
Well, that's true if it's just voice.
It's not an issue.
So I have to figure out what kind of little tablet thing to get.
I think this is under $200, like Best Buy, it's just a Chromebook.
Right.
I thought you needed.
So you don't use that for anything but
Well,
business?
I can't say that because it's
I mean, you could look at news. and
since
stuff
it's
on it.
Google based,
Yeah.
my
No,
personal email come up on there too,
President.
but I don't email from this. But I need to get that off of here something like.
Yes, you do.
I was just watching the deal guy. I think Costco had a laptop for $150.
Oh, yeah,
You don't need much.
yeah, just for doing that.
Lenovo.
I'll just set it up, picks up the Wi-Fi and does this. Okay. I guess we'll have to do that. I know what I'm buying myself for Christmas.
There you go.
And then the deleting of township records, like, you know, that kind of stuff, but we gotta go with our record retention policy, which. They did that several years ago, and I don't know what it really says, but like you can't delete those either. Now, if you email me and says, hey, what we doing for lunch tomorrow, or hey, I can't be at the meeting, whatever. That can be deleted after a couple of years, but anything else can't be. Things that describes any kind of business we're doing as business, so.
Carol's gonna archive all that, so you don't have to worry about what you do and what I have to say.
So,
Carol Dace is.
he talked to Kendra about that today, or Kendra talked to him about that today, and they said they archive everything for, how am I gonna say 2 years, or longer?
Longer than that.
Yeah.
I think it's 5.
Stuff going into you guys. Gets archived.
Well, the emails, everything, you know.
Yeah,
All the township emails.
right. So we don't have to worry about it on our end, because if we're communicating with you guys, then you're automatically, yeah, okay.
So anyhow, but we did go through all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Go to Best Buy and see what we can.
Well, we met the new sheriff, that's what we did,
Ah, so,
and
did you get the little courtesy card that they hand out? You didn't get one of those?
he went past some.
Get out of jail free. card.
Yeah,
He only had a 15-minute window to get everything he wanted to get
Yeah,
said.
he just give us a little background history of himself, and you know, like, then, you know, he's pretty new to the job. But there is a new sheriff's office opening up probably this week or next week.
where?
Delaware.
Up in Delaware.
Oh, the new building.
You know, didn't you? So. Anyway, so with that, you know. So that was pretty much, you know, the afternoon part, so.
Go.
Anything else anyone have for the good of the? A motion to adjourn.
I will motion to adjourn.
I second the motion.
And we would take a voice vote, all aye, say, favor say aye, opposed, same sign. Adjourn at 8:41. You can shut that down, would you please?
Now you're gonna get a notebook.
God, I bought a computer for him. It's so bad.